Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be going through some of the tips for Frostpunk, your early game goals and the optimal way to start off your game. I'm going to be playing through on hard, but the tips I'll be sharing with you are applicable on all subsequent difficulties. Honestly though guys, I'm not a terrible person, it's just to survive on this game you have to be quite cutthroat, so morality is typically a luxury you can't really afford. Anyway, enough of that, let's jump straight into the gameplay. Okay, now that we're in our nice icy tomb, we're going to want to first open our law book and research child labour, because everybody knows the cornerstone to successful society is child labour. Now that we've got them part of the workforce, we want to get them collecting some wood and some steel. These are your priorities early game, and you only need about 5 on coal. This is because you don't want to really turn your generator on till the cold hits around day 4. You'll get +1 heating from the housing, which will be more than adequate in keeping your civilians alive, essentially. So we're going to send the workers out, we're going to speed up time here. Okay, now what we're looking to do is to stop the time at around 17 or 18, because at 6 o'clock that's when the workday ends, but if you trigger your workers to build just before 6, like so, they will build throughout their free time, so you'll get more labour out of them. You want to reserve the inner circle and the secondary circle exclusively for housing and medical posts. The reason for this is medical posts have some of the worst insulation of all the industrial buildings, so they need to be near the central hub. I'm going to throw 2 down here because in hard difficulty, the slightest gust of wind, everybody keels over, so you need 2, but you can get away with 1 on the lower difficulties. I'm going to build a road out now, and I'm going to build my first 2 industrial facilities. The first one's tech. I'm going to move back and count 2 squares back, so I'm going to leave the second outer rim for additional housing. So yep, housing will fit straight there, and then we need food, so I'm going to put down a cookhouse. Okay, we're going to throw the cookhouse down now, and then we're going to speed up time once again. Now the workers will continue to work in their free time and build all the properties for you. They're always complaining about heat, but it's fine, they're not going to freeze to death yet. The housing will provide adequate heat, I promise. Next, we're going to need to pull off all of our engineers. We're going to need all 15 of them, 10 for the medical bays and 5 for the tech building. Okay, next what we're going to need is people for the cookhouse. So we'll take 2 of the children from the coal mines and put them in there. I'm sure they'd prefer that anyway. Next we're going to research exploration and industry, and we're going to do the beacon first. It's by far the best option to start the game because we want to rush towards a mech which is out in the wilderness, and I'll tell you whereabouts that is in a moment when I research it. But first, what we're going to do next is introduce a new law, and that is going to be soup. This is going to stretch our initial food reserves 25% longer, I think. Let's just check. Yeah, 4 food rations for 2 raw food, 5 food rations for 2 raw food, and all of our food's in the raw state at the moment, but starting tomorrow morning when the cooks get to work, yeah, we will get 25% more food out of that. Okay, so far everything's going swimmingly. Nobody's lost any limbs yet or died in the frost. And everybody's back out at it again, working hard. Okay, so what's going wrong here? Child injured at work. Timmy should probably learn to be more careful. We'll give him the day off though, because we're a nice leader. They want us to go out and search for help. Speed up the gameplay a bit more. Okay, next I'm going to throw down some hunting huts. Now, you'll realise that I'm building it a bit earlier than I said to, but these are the only buildings you want to do so, and that's because the hunting buildings are on reverse shifts with the rest of the workers. So while the rest of the workers work in the day, the hunters go out at night, and I'm going to show you a trick to further optimize your workforce and labour. So we're going to throw those buildings down now and build them, and hopefully they'll be done before the night time comes. Okay, everybody's coming back now, they're building, and people crying about heat again. They're always crying about heat, but they don't worry, they're not going to die, it's fine. So, yeah. Now I'm going to pull off 15 workers for each of the facilities. We're going to throw them in there. Now, they would typically be sleeping now and resting, but if you do this and switch at night time, just before the shifts go out, the parties will go out here, as you see. So they'll basically do double shifts, 24 hours, but I'm pretty sure the game was not meant to be played like this, or this mechanic was not meant to be abused, but it can be, and it'll give you the edge. Next, I'm going to pick up emergency shift as well. You want to typically save this because, yeah, people get quite disgruntled when you pop this all the time, but in emergencies, just before the frost hits, it's quite it's a lifesaver. It really is. Nope, no special treatment for you. You have to stay at work as well. You don't want to pull the workers off the food huts too early. Okay, we're gonna grab our next. We need to get radiators next. Yeah, heaters. This is for the cookhouse later on because it runs too cold. Okay, yeah, the food's come in now. As soon as you see the food counter come in, you can now pull the workers off the hunting huts and then put them back onto normal duty, and they'll continue to work again. And now you'll get workers that work 24 hours, and that's how you abuse the cooking hut system. So we're going to start to need some coal now because the winter's coming in 1.5 days. So we'll need coal to put the generators on. We need to put 2 people back in the cookhouse because we have food coming in from the hunters' huts now again. Need more on coal. And I've just realised how fast I play this game. It's quite hard to keep up and narrate. So yeah, now we want to put the generator on because the cold's going to hit in half a day. Yeah, that'll bring everybody's temperatures up. Everybody will be happy now and content, and nobody will die. So, next we want to build a outpost. Ideally, we should be throwing it down right about now. Yep. Just as the day comes to an end. You want to build it at the furthest point away from the city because the outpost workers are scouts, so they're never actually at the post, so you don't need to heat that building ever. So you want it out of the way so you can put higher priority buildings around the inner circles. Coal reserves, convoy. Okay, so we want to pause it again and we want to switch the workers over back onto the hunting huts. Yeah, and then they will go out hunting again in a second. We're going to need 5 workers as well for the outpost scout party, and we want to get that up as soon as possible. Yeah, got to keep coal production up because the cold is about to hit in the morning. Great, the beacon's done. Everybody's elated, they're all filled with hope. We've got a giant hot air balloon. Let's go, team. So you want to send them straight here to the Lost Expedition, and then over there is where the broken bridge is, which is the mecca you want to rush towards. So we're going to need to get 5 workers for that. Book of Law, radical treatment. You don't need radical treatment so early in normals, but everybody gets frostbite in this. So radical treatment will basically amputate their limbs so they don't die, and it'll keep people happy, and that's what we want to do. Keep them happy. Coal's good. We need a bit more steel, but I don't think we can afford the workers. Okay, getting the beacon patrol up and sending them straight to the Lost Expedition. Everybody is incredibly happy again, which is great. Should remember the society is really fickle, so they'll turn on you at a moment's notice, so you have to keep them somewhat happy, particularly in this mode. You can get away with a lot more in the normal first playthrough. So the cold is going to hit now. It lasts a lot longer and hard as well, which is quite inconvenient, but yeah, it's manageable. It's manageable with these optimizations. Everybody's chilly. Nobody's really dying. Stockpile, that's fine. Okay, the cookhouse is cold, meaning it's not going to be able to operate. It's below temperature. But fortunately, we've got radiators coming up in a second. Speed through this. wants more food. No rations for the kids. Okay, yeah, turn the heater on and now the cookhouse will work again. And more tech. We need to get sawmills up now. You typically want to always get sawmills quite early, around 3rd, because you're so dependent on wood in the early game, and the wooden crates are going to run out incredibly shortly. So you need to get that research up so you can cut down the frozen trees and get your wood supply from there. So yep, the food's in again, so we're taking them out of the hunting hut and putting them back to work again for more additional optimizations. Let's just check our supplies. Food's always going to show as a negative because you keep draining the huts and fluctuating the people. Okay, lost expedition. You want to send the survivors back. Do not escort them because you need to rush towards the mech. So you'll lose a couple of them on the way back, but it's well worth it to get your scouting team further up quicker. Okay, guys. I know what some of you are thinking now. This is starting to look a bit like a dictatorship. But I promise you, it's a free and democratic society. Frostbite? Okay. Yeah, so fortunately we'd already researched amputation, so we're just going to have to cut off his limb, but he'll survive. So that's the important thing, really. We're going to need to put some more people on coal. So remember, as your stockpiles diminish and deplete, you need to move the workers over to new ones, basically, to keep up. Optimization, fighting arena, yep. So grab fighting arena quite early because it'll just keep your people happy and they won't overthrow you for now till it does turn into a totalitarian dictatorship. But that's for later down the road. So we're going to throw down the fighting arena and we're going to throw down a second workshop. Basically the way the workshops work is the first one is obviously 100%, but adding the second one doesn't make it 200%. It increases it by 30, and the third one also increases it by 30. But I don't think you want to go past 3 because you hit diminishing returns. So you want to add one. What's going? Cold homes. Yeah, no, we can't address that right now. But yeah, so the second one will increase it by 30. The third one will increase it by 30. But you can't. Adding any more is pretty pointless. So we're going to take some off coal and we're going to put them back in the hunting huts because it's that time of night again. 30. Okay, and I wonder what these want now. Wisdom of the crowd. Yep, not really interested in the crowd. So what we need to do next is build some more huts for the refugees. Well, the fighting arena's done. That's great. Everybody's happy. Yep, so we need to build some huts. How many people are coming in? About 40, so we're going to need 4 huts, sorry. Build them preemptively before they get there because they will complain separately if you don't. So we're going to throw down 4. Throw them down in the same radius as the fighting arena. It'll garner more happiness and hope. Yep, our scouting party's reached the destination. Grab the resources, and now you'll see Steel Bridge. This is where you'll find the mecha, and this is what you've been rushing towards because the mech works 24 hours, doesn't get injured, doesn't complain, doesn't mind the cold. He's great. Oh, and here are the refugees. Here are the freeloaders. Fortunately, they've already got houses built, but yeah, I'm sure there'll be a drain on our society. Anyway, I'm going to leave the video here. Thanks for watching, guys. I've been your Supreme Leader, and let me know if you want to see more of this kind of content.